The four islands of the Atlantic Island National Park, namely Thies, Ons, Salbora and Cortegada, are located in the low estuaries of the Galician coast in the northeast of the Atlantic Ocean. The wealth of these islands can be discovered sailing estuary by estuary. Thies, the highest of all the islands, faces the ocean with its imposing cliffs, protecting the Vigo estuary. The Rodas Beach Lake and Barrier Complex stand out due to its biological and geomorphological importance, where the sand transported by current has created a dune barrier over time, thus creating a shallow lake behind it known as the Dos Nenos Lake, where crustaceans and fish seek sanctuary from the ocean. Heading northwards at the mouth of Pontevedra estuary, we can make out the Ons Island. With its long contour with smooth relief, it is the only inhabited one in the park, where its islander culture has survived. Thus, Ons, which is still inhabited, offers the visitor characteristics of small rural coastal town, where granaries still preserve the scarce crops currently grown, and legends which are still alive. Salbora, opposite the Arosa estuary, whose marine relief crags rise to the surface in the form of numerous rock and sand islets. This beautiful island, abounding in stone sculptures molded by water and wind erosion, continues to be a source of fishermen's legends and myths as to the origin of this island, like that of the Sager's man. Salbora was inhabited in the past, whereas today the ruins, still upright, persist of the village where farmers, fishermen and workers of the old salting factory once lived, and whose owners reconverted it into a country house after the island was abandoned. Going inside the estuary, sheltered from the winds and tidal waters, we encounter Cortegada, an old gift to the king and today recovered for the public, which nature has covered in trees till it looks like a floating forest. Successive movements of the Earth's crust opened faults along the Galician coast, causing it to sink, which together with the increase in sea level meant coastal valleys were submerged, isolating some mountains and creating the islands. The sea breaks against the rocks where life sticks strongly, or is buffered in the marine forests of large algae, dancing with the waves. From the sea, the salty air blows strongly against the cliff, combing the vegetation. Gorse bushes battle against the wind with their needles, among which small mammals seek refuge, birds nest, while reptiles and insects feed. This sea and wind erosion cracks the rock, forming sand deposited in apparently deserted depths, yet full of concealed surprises. Waves transfer the sand to the beaches and then elevated to the dunes by the wind. Very different settlers have reached these islands throughout time. Man is suspected to have walked on them since Paleolithic times. However, thanks to certain archaeological remains, we know for certain there were settlements in the Iron and Bronze Ages. Due to their strategic situation, they have provided shelter for Castreños, Romans, monks, pirates, fish tinners, sailors and farmers throughout history, of which there is only one living example in the peoples of Ons. Nowadays, the national park attracts many tourists who are amazed by the nature and culture of the islands. Respect for these values is crucial for their future preservation. The Galician Atlantic Islands defend the estuaries against heavy tidal surges and salty winds of the Atlantic Ocean. Factors that exquisitely mold the landscapes and life of the islands, to which only nature responds, leaving a natural cultural legacy in our hands for preservation.